it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. Today is Memorial Day. Thank you to all the veterans that fought for our country, including my husband. I feel like I should have all of this stuff planted. Everything should be already full, but there's lots of things that are not. And really, that's not like this one, these little ones back here. But it's not unusual for me not to have it done by Memorial Day. So I should be used to that, but somehow I don't think of that. I just think it's time for them to be done and I should be ready to quit this planting part, but that's not what's happening. So I just want to try to enjoy it anyway. I did do this one just recently, and I put this molten lava in the center and then some creeping Jenny around the edges, which I've done this before and it's looked great. So I hope it will continue to do so. I did have to put another little impatient in this pot, but I'm hoping these will make it. These are looking great, which is so encouraging. And I rarely get the garden cleaned out before the end of March, so I feel good if I get it done by then. There's so much to clean up whenever everything has gone dormant, turned brown and ugly, and the tops of it have died, and we know that down beneath those roots are alive, waiting their chance to come up and look beautiful. And I always do want to give them that chance, but I sure get tired of cleaning this out before it's over with, and then I kind of come into the planting part already tired. But you know that planting part gives you some zeal, a little bit of zeal. I haven't had much zeal, but I do have a little again, because I just love to get the new plants, love to put them in a container and see the container, how it will grow together and mingle together, and how beautiful I can get one to look. Or put them just the same plant in a pot. That's what I'm thinking about doing with these, and they'll look like little flames flickering up. That's the plan. But I am anxious for the day when I have it all filled up, and when I come out it's mainly to water. And even that gets very tiring before the hot summers are over. But we are so lucky we're still in that little bit of cool where our temperatures are not going above the 80s. They're getting really close, but they're not going above it. And as far as the forecast shows, that it's not supposed to for a little more over a week, and then we'll see the extended forecast and see. Well, I want to keep this weather just as long as I possibly can. And I'm sure the garden feels the same way. I was telling my daughter how I love the double petunias. They just kind of look like little pom-poms. So pretty. I'm still thinking about dumping this out and dividing it, and I think I will do that at some point. Maybe not today, but maybe today. I've just got too much other stuff today. If I could get those little ones planted, that would be great. But then, I want all of them to have some of this nicer weather, so they'll have a good chance to just be beautiful all summer long. If they get their roots down and get established, that's probably what they will do. And then I'm still having some where I'm losing them. I hate when I lose a plant, and especially if you can't find another one like it to fill it back up with. But I'm glad I do have one of these in the back that's doing great, but I don't think there's much hope for this one, and probably not even for that little periwinkle, that little purple periwinkle that's trying to grow there. The one on this side looks healthy. And these new little hostas, this one's called Risky Business, and it's looking good. And so is this little one, and I can't remember exactly. Oh, it's Brim Cup. This one is called Brim Cup. This one's not a new one, but it's certainly looking great. I love this little mint green licorice plant, and I like this little pot. It usually does pretty well for me, and I've had some of the calabachoas that really made it good last year, but this one I'm not sure. I'm not counting it out yet, but I'm hoping it will flourish much more than that. I purchased this little coleus from Janie's Garden Center, and it looked just like this when I got it. It hasn't. It's not because it's grown into this. It already was this beautiful, and I'm expecting it to maybe grow into something even more beautiful. And I'm anxious to get my seeds out and figure out which ones of those I want to plant in the pots that I don't end up putting nursery plants in. And I'm still hoping to get this little coconut liner out of here and a little plastic or resin pot in its place. I had two little tin or some type of metal that rusted out here and down here in this spot, but I've replaced those now, and that feels good. Anytime I get something done, feels good. I just think an accomplishment is a wonderful thing. This lovely little diamond frost euphorbia is also a wonderful plant. I know it doesn't look like anything right now except an eyesore, but it looks great to me because it lived through the winter. All three of these little plants right here lived through the winter. This one, of course, did not. But these did, and they're coming up, and it won't be long to where they'll be healthy and beautiful and flourishing, and you'll even see that they're beautiful. I love the euphorbia because it looks like tiny little lights in the garden. And this little pot is holding celosia. I can get these to grow much better from seed because for me, for some reason, the stem will have rot right at the beginning where the root is formed, and then it just takes it down, it wilts. But if I start them from seed, they seem to do well, so that's great. And I do love this bright pretty color. This is called feather celosia, and I purchased some of actually just this one of the coxcomb celosia, and I think it's beautiful too. My friend Hattie had one of these one time, and she took me out to see it, and then she kept pointing out how much bigger and more beautiful and strong and healthy it was getting, and I would love for my little plant to do that too. But as I told you, I do have trouble with it. I buy them at the nurseries and they're already established. They just don't seem to, their little stem gets root rot so many times that I've practically stopped trying to do that. But I thought it's a good time to try again. And I did put this red rock underneath it, hoping that that would keep the water away from its stem. And this little pot, the whole front of it filled up volunteer from seeds of alyssum from last year. And I found a little rogue nepeta or catmint that I put right here yesterday. I don't know if it's going to make it, but it probably will actually, because they just do well. And I'm hoping that it will fill up the back of it, and we'll just keep this one going without having to refill it every spring too. That's the plan. That's the hope. Oh, and I can show you this too. This is a Gara, and this is a white, and I just love how pretty it is up against this gray. I tried to put them all the way up here, but I only got two, actually, that one, and there is one more. Let me go a little slower so it won't be just a flash. But there's one more right up here. It's not as big, but hopefully it will get that way, and it doesn't happen to be blooming right now. But if it lives, it will. And my little pink Dara is not doing as well as I would like it to, but it's still living, and that's a great sign. If they will live, they will pick themselves up and really go at some point. And I still haven't got this little wad of water grass out of here, and I do want to do that. But I was going to show you that the daylilies are also beginning to bloom. I also do not have these hollyhocks out of here. There's at least two in there. Maybe three. I think there is three in there. So I need to get those out of there because I do want this little sedum to be able to shine. And it will take up all the nutrients, water, everything away from them, the space. So I want to take those up. And I'll want to put them someplace else in the garden. When I came out of church Sunday, that blast of heat hit me in the face, and it was in the higher 80s. It wasn't even 90 yet, but I thought, oh no, because I had transplanted several of these, like this little Cosmos and this little Zinnia, and they're all around in there, and I thought they can't make it. I just had transplanted them the evening before, and I assumed they would be gone. But it was so wonderful to come back here and realize they were a little bit hung down, just a little, but nothing much, and I just watered them, and they just perked back up and just kept right on going. So I think this year you'll get to see, and I'll get to see this in some full bloom and beauty. And I'm hoping maybe, I don't know if I want to put any more. I'm thinking I would like to put some coleus in the back, but I would love for it to get as tall, at least as tall as the Dusty Miller in there, so it can bend in and be a part of this little arrangement in this container. Last year I put them in there, but they just never got up tall enough that you could see them above everything else, and they were just fillers, but I need them to be a little bit of a thriller. So I'm thinking this side is all filled out. And it looks so beautiful. I even put some of the widow's tears that were growing rogue, I didn't want them, in this little pot, and they're up against this, or beside this little strawberry pot. And I'm going to go down this part of it and show you, and then I'll show you the other side. I chose low growing plants for this little pot, so maybe you can still see the little girls in here. But even if you can't, that'll be okay. We'll see them again when fall frost comes. But right now they're looking great, and I have such hope for these little petunias, and these are double petunias, and then the little mini petunias, and I hope they'll flow together and just look gorgeous. It's always so great to hope for things, because you know they may not always be like we hope, but sometimes they do better. And this is just some chrysanthemums, and then I put one of the double impatiens in it too, to kind of flow over the edge. This is that lipstick blonde hosta, This is the air fern that I brought from inside the house. I put little purple periwinkle around this Russian sage. This is another pot of chrysanthemum. You can tell this one and this one were already in there, and I added these, so they're not quite going yet, but hopefully they will get there. And then I just put some impatiens, some bright pretty pink impatiens in this pot. This little pot holds one of the beautiful, this was called Firehouse Verbena. I've also heard it called Peppermint Verbena. And I'm not putting anything else in there with this one. I did with the one in the back, but I'm going to see if this will fill this whole pot out like my friend Glenda's did. This little pot is nothing but a volunteer celosia, so, and it just did so well there. I think I'll keep it there, unless I may have to thin it out. But I don't mind them staying small in this little pot. You know, I had this one ready with molten lava, celosia, and creeping Jenny. And I did put some periwinkle in this little pot here, and then beside it it's some more of the pretty pink impatiens. This is a copper king, I think, or maybe it's just a copper plant. It's a copper plant, and I think it will turn copper. It usually does. When I brought it in, it was more copper than it was green, but as it stays inside, it got all just the green. It's not looking so great right now, but that's because it's first out. Usually and hopefully it will again, that they will just kind of look puny for a while and then toughen up and just go for it to live out here. And then I put this little one. I wanted these two plants together. When I set them down and saw them beside each other, I knew I wanted this little zinnia with pink and white in it, with this little scaviola or fan flower, and it was so big and beautiful. I just lucked out finding this one, I think, and I hope I'll be able to just keep it going. That would be wonderful. The one behind it there is the Diamond Frost Euphorbia. Does not look good right now, but I'm certainly not giving up on it looking good. I love it when it billows out with teeny tiny little white lights. That's what the bloom looks like on this when it does well. And then right beside it, I put some impatiens in this little girl's pot. I did have some hosta there, but it didn't come back, so I thought I'm just going to put some annuals in it if it's not going to come back for me. But then I did have enough hope. This, of course, is the Mexican heather. But I had enough hope that it would come back that I did divide that little hosta on the other end that I was telling you about that I might. And it still has some in it. And then I also filled up this little pot as well as this larger pot. And so far, this little hosta has always came back for me. So I'm hoping it will again. There may be something about it not draining as well in this on these pots. I really don't know what caused it to not come back, but I'm giving it hope for it to start coming back again. And you know that I've had this one done, but look how well it's doing. When I was working out here, I did find two big old snails just beginning to come up and get in there, so I did squash those things. And I do not like them in my garden at all. They're nothing but destructive. But this is looking good, and I hope it can have a chance to continue on to be healthy, grow big and beautiful. And I did clip off a little bit more of my white chocolate snake root plant, because I want some more of this. This is just a dark, like it's got part chocolate in its foliage color. But when it blooms, it's so pretty with the little white tufts all over it. And this little pot got impatiens, and there's coleus on either side of the little girl. So if they do well, they will begin to shine too once they get going good. So that's this end of the front garden. And I did bring out my house plants. My husband helped me with the bigger ones that are a little too heavy for just me to do by myself, but we've got them sitting out and they're looking good too, at least looking like they have a good start. I left my little upside down pot out here for 2 weeks at least, and I thought, well, it's time to take that back. Its little roots are well established, and I picked it up and realized that I put the little star in the top of it so it wouldn't be upside down at all. So I'm starting over again, and this little sack holds seed, and I am going to try to get some of that done hopefully today, but if I don't, I'm not going to feel badly, not too badly. I'll feel badly, but I'm not going to blame myself because I worked so hard out here, and I do most days, but not always. But when I work that hard, I just have to have some days to recuperate from it. I wish I didn't. I wish I could keep going like I used to, but I know that at some point I'm going to have to stop, but you know, I'm not going to make that point come any sooner than it has to. But I was so busy yesterday out here, and I filled this little pot up. This little pot I did not fill up because I was so hoping that these that I had in it would come up, but I'm giving up on that now. I'm not really thinking that that's going to happen, so I think I might plant some of those seeds in there, and then if it happens, they can grow up in there with the seed. That'll be fine. But I don't think it's going to happen. They would have already shown some green. I put periwinkle in this little pot, and these little pots I do plan to do over. There might be one that's living well in this one, but the rest of them are not, and none of these are doing any good. So I'm going to try to redo those, and I do want some impatiens in it, and I'm going to try to get some that are already have a big fat stem because they seem to do better as far as not letting the snails eat them up so quickly and get started on them. And I don't think they care for them as much once they get bigger, but they love that little weepy stem that they have when they're new. But this one is going again. When I put it out there, it looks so fragile and just not healthy or pretty at all. But now look at it; it's really growing. Even the impatiens are growing in it. And then there's little begonias back in this pot. And they're not doing great, but they're still certainly there, and I have hope for them. This is another one of the birds that my brother painted for me, and he did so good on it. I love it. This is my little rainbow hosta that lost most of its root, or maybe all of its root. When I dug it up, it just broke off the root. So, but it's still green, so I'm thinking it may be making its own little root and go again there. That's what I'm hoping it will do. Some of these I know I've already shown to you, and you've seen what I put in them. This one is one I did yesterday, and it has periwinkle in it. These front two rows right here get more sun than anything, where the back gets a little more shade. So my hostas are back there in the back. And then the things that need more sun are here on the front two rows. And also this little bougainvillea, I may have to move it because it does need and like the sun. But then it does get some sun, so I may wait and see how it will do here. And then if it's just not blooming for me, or if it looks bad, unhealthy, I will take it and move it someplace else. But everything is looking so good, and we still have partly cloudy skies. Today was supposed to be our rain day. Yesterday we got a little bit while I was working. It was actually couldn't probably be called rain, just a tiny little shower that I didn't even have to get out of. It was nothing, but it was nice to have the coolness and the hope of rain. But I really thought we'd get it today, since we got a little bit yesterday even, but we didn't so far. But I'm hoping we'll still get some. We certainly do get overlooked for the rain, or have in the past, but I hope we don't continue on in that same way of doing things. But I think, well, I'm not sure which ones I've already shown to you, which ones I haven't, but this one I'm going to have to replace some in it. I don't know. It's probably snails. I really don't know, but some kind of fungus or something has taken them out. And those are my periwinkles and my scaviola, which my periwinkles usually do great for me, but sometimes they do this wilty thing and they just don't come out of it. So I'm either going to get some more plants or put some seed there. But this is the one that I was telling you I might divide. It still has plenty to look pretty. It's not as full as it was, of course, because I dumped this little pot, which is very easy to do. And once you dump the whole thing, it's not so hard to clip down through the root and get part of the root. So this plant and the other two that I showed you just a few moments ago all came from that one little container, and now they have room to grow, and I think they're healthy enough to go ahead and do that, and I just think that's great. And look at this little Norfolk pine. I've had it now, I think this is my 4th year. I know it's tiny, but it's alive, and I've killed every other one that I've tried, but this one so far, I know it just came out, so it is looking a little yellow, a little puny, but I think hopefully, and it has been just toughening up and going right on. Same with this little Crescenda plant. I planted this while we were having our little cloudy days, and it thinks it's going to be great here, and I hope it will be great enough that it can keep going. And this beautiful little double calabachoa, it's so wonderful. I love it, and hope that it will too keep going all summer long. That's my plan. This one is one I know I did just yesterday with the Penta and the cascading periwinkle, and this little pot will have to be redone. I'm sure it's snails that have gotten in here. I've even caught a couple in there and taken them out, but it's too far gone to think it's going to make it. I hope that maybe these little begonias will, but they may not either. They don't look very healthy, that's for sure, but they could come out of that, and I hope they will. And then there's more houseplants that I brought out, including this ponytail plant back here that I brought out. My husband helped me with this one. So it's looking good. At least it's looking like it has a good start, and right now it's got a good start with the weather. I just can't thank the Lord enough for giving me this time, because if I would have done this in that heat, I would be way more tired than I am now, and that's tired. So, but, and also it wouldn't have lived for me. They just can't do that hot weather when they're first young and getting started, especially if you clip something off, it doesn't even have a root yet. But if you can find a week like this one has been, you have a great chance of being able to transplant things or start things, and that's great. And when you see a pot that looks like it has nothing in it, it's very likely that, like this one, it has seed that will hopefully go ahead and sprout and grow up big and pretty. This one happens to be yellow profusion zinnias. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel and tell your friends about us.